many people on the podcast have said, many actors who've come on the podcast have said that sometimes friendships in the industry are superficial. Your 3 films flop, and the same people who invite you to their parties and their dinners, they just fade away. They just vaporize.
That's a fact of life. That is a fact of life. But I would say that how do you define friendship? So I would never call those friendships. Those are your colleagues. They are your social interactions, and you can be friendly with people. But a friend is who? A friend is someone who would be there for you, who you would be there for. And it doesn't matter if you have nothing to say. You could sit with a friend across, and you could be reading and not talk for 2 hours, but you're friends. Because if you can sit in silence with a person, then you're friends with that person.
Lovely. So finally, a difficult question, but I would ask you to pick one book that you like to go back to again and again, and the one film which would define Sonali Bendre.
That film hasn't happened yet.
Lovely.
I do hope that in my second inning now...
People listen in, producers,
yes,
directors.
Please do. In my second inning now, I do hope I can have that film at some point in my life, which I can say, yeah, this was the film. Or maybe I can spend my life keeping on working till the day you drop dead and saying, I'm looking for that film. That's also not a bad way to be. I don't mind that also. But book, I cannot say one book because there are different feelings. For me, books I've always associated with feelings. And when you're feeling something, that's the book you go to.
Okay.
So it could be The Folk of the Faraway Tree sometimes from my childhood, like literally babiness of it, and just to remember that. Or it can be Asimov. It can be Dune. There was a huge...
Not Asimov, really?
Yeah, Asimov at one point. But actually what has happened with Asimov is that we are living in the world that was described then. And yeah, so but I have always been a huge science fiction fan. So for me, I do go back to a lot of that.
I can't.
Yeah, I love it. So.
I mean, I've done it. I've read it just because, okay, it's, like I said, your bucket list or whatever, somebody is recommended.
Yeah, I get that.
So
yeah.
Lots of times you pick up a book and read it because it's part of your, at least for me, it's part of my work.
And then you don't
at times.
complete it. And that's happened to me,
Yeah, and I feel very guilty then.
Yeah, but that's why I wrote it in the book, that don't feel guilty about not completing a book. Yeah. It's absolutely fine. There's so many books to be read that, just move to the next one. But I would say that a lot of authors have had a huge hand in shaping me, and that could be, and those are authors like Isabella Allende and Toni Morrison, and then there is Pratibha Ray's Yajna. For me, that was a life-altering book because, as a child, when you read Amar Chitra Katha, you read Upanishads, Chanda Mama, Tinkle, while you're reading the other stories also. When you read all kinds of things, then, it opens your mind to different stories. So there was a certain association with the stories from our past and our culture. And when I read Yajna, it appended everything that you thought of. It gave you a different point of view because that Yajna is Mahabharata from Draupadi's point of view.
Yeah, like Divakaruni's Draupadi. And
but Yajna was the original.
And
I think it is a translation. I think original was written in Oriya. And so for me, that as I read it in I was 18, 19, 20. I think it was really early. And it really made me rethink a lot of things and ask questions. And that's when those questions came in. That, when something happens to me, I don't even think this is happening because I'm so used to it in my subconscious. I've been so conditioned to think that this is how it should be for me as a woman that I didn't even think of it that it should not be like this. Yeah. So it really got me thinking in a lot of ways. So that was a very, very important book in my life that I always remember top of my head.
But do subscribe to the ANI Clips channel to get shorter versions of this podcast. Click here to watch the full episode.